Whether you like it or not, and it's probably the latter, correctly organised paperwork is essential in sales. In fact, if you use paperwork properly, it can become a useful sales tool. This Selling for Real title looks at good and bad practice and asks you to identify which is nearer to your approach. You'll need to make notes, so have a pen and paper handy. Then, when you're ready to start, use the roller controller to move the arrow over the Continue button. When it's highlighted, click on a roller controller button to begin. Before the video begins, let's quickly consider some of the problems caused by poor paperwork.
Wrong customer details. Lost customer details. Poor, inaccurate follow-up. Delayed delivery. Wrong specification of vehicle ordered. Incorrect part exchange details. Customers collecting tax applied for cars. Hassle with sales admin. Hassle with the service department. Hassle with the parts department. Hassle with customers.
If simply following a few guidelines can alleviate so much hassle and misinterpretation, then it has to be worthwhile, doesn't it?
Hello, and welcome to Selling for Real. So, let's get down to business. The business of paperwork. And you know, there's more to the world of paperwork, and filing come to that, than meets the eye. Oh yes, index cards. Where would we be without them? You know, I once had to give a talk to the East
Grinstead Round Table
on this very subject.
Index cards and indexation. I called it. Rather inspired, though.
Nowadays, of course, when I'm not rushed off my feet down at the VAT office, I'm, well, more of a part-time consultant in paperwork systems. And as I say, paperwork and filing in triplicate is pretty much what this program is all about. Ow!
Now that is what this program is not about. And we shouldn't be seeing very much more of Mr. Entwistle, at least not if I have anything to do with it. Yes, this is a program about paperwork, but no, this is not a program about the joys of filing. Like you, I know perfectly well that paperwork can be boring. As boring as, well, Norbert Entwistle and the East Grinstead Round Table. But the fact remains that some paperwork matters. Some paperwork affects your image with customers. Some can even affect your sales effectiveness. But don't take my word for it. Have a listen to what some real customers had to say.
Well, I'd like the part exchange to be handled as quickly and as efficiently as possible, which means when we actually get to sitting down and doing the paperwork, it could be completed quickly.
As far as the paperwork's concerned, I think it's important to get it right the first time. There's nothing worse than having to correct mistakes. So, I mean, yeah, there should be a certain amount of thoroughness.
If I think a salesman was taking notes on what I was talking about on my car, for instance, I think he's a bit thorough, he's quite good.
And then when I went to pick the car up, all the paperwork was in order, and it was presented to me in a nice wallet, and it was most efficiently done.
Yeah. Did they write to you afterwards?
I had a 12-month warranty on the car, and they had to send me the warranty through the post. And the managing director sent me a letter saying he wished me happy motoring and etc., you know, that sort of letter.
Did you like that?
Yes, I did, yes.
Again, a salesman is a package. He's not just somebody that can sell you the car. He's got to be very efficient at his whole job, not just parts of his job.
Yes, the salesman's got to know where all his paperwork is, and he's got it laid out correctly. Because the last garage and showroom I went to, they said that the deal could be completed within 2 hours from you arriving to actually ordering the car and if finance had to be arranged, it was all complete within 2 hours or sooner, and it was, and I like that.
So, as you'd expect, customers are impressed by good communications in general and by good paperwork specifically. They do notice the difference. They like it when you're systematic, organised and reliable. But that is jumping ahead to a happy ending before the story has really begun. So let's go back to chapter 1 and look at the benefits of a good paperwork trail. Oh, one word of warning. We should be looking at some examples of good practice and attitude. But there are many, many ways of organising paperwork properly, and we can't possibly hope to look at all of them. However, we do hope to provoke some discussion. That, after all, is what Selling for Real is all about.
They said it's in a Sierra up at Curry's, so I don't know, who knows. Anyway.
This is Andy Higgins. It might not look like it, but he's ready to receive a customer inquiry at any time. His price lists, brochures, and most important of all, his sales inquiry forms are easily to hand. When the phone rings, he and his paperwork will be ready. Good desktop organisation undoubtedly improves your ability to handle telephone inquiries effectively. And this is Alison Moore, the receptionist and line link operator at Andy's dealership.
Hello, Lion Motors. How can I help you?
Oh, yes, I've seen your advertisement in the Telegraph about nearly new 605. Second-hand, but with low mileage.
Fine. I'll just put you through to Andrew Higgins in sales. He'll be able to help you there. May I take your name, please, Mr...
Donovan, thank you.
Fine. Just putting you through there, Mr. Donovan.
The paperwork trail begins with Alison.
Hello,
Once she's put this call through, she'll enter Mr. Donovan's name into her visitor's book, along with the model he's interested in, the newspaper advertisement that caught his attention, and the name of the sales executive now handling the inquiry. Of course, not all dealerships have a receptionist in the showroom, or indeed use the Line Link marketing system. In such cases, it would be the responsibility of the sales staff to record this sort of information in a showroom log. The precise system isn't the point. The point is that such information must get recorded, or the paper trail will break down before it's begun.
So what exactly were you interested in then?
Well, really, I wanted to come and see
Meanwhile,
you about the,
Andy Higgins has begun to qualify David Donovan, who turns out to be a self-employed marketing consultant, interested in buying a second-hand or ex-demonstration 605 for business use.
Springfield Avenue.
Right now, Andy's main aim is to sell Mr. Donovan the idea of a face-to-face meeting and a test drive.
Yeah, Field.
Nevertheless, any information that he can put on his sales inquiry form at this early stage will make the face-to-face qualification go more smoothly. Later, the form will work as a memory jogger and will give the customer a strong sense of Andy's efficiency.
Yeah. OK. Now, if, just in case I need to get in touch with you during the day, if I could have your daytime telephone number.
Yes, 77300.
77730. OK, well, that's 10 o'clock on the 18th. Look forward to seeing you then. OK, bye-bye.
With the call over and a meeting agreed, the paperwork trail continues. Firstly, Andy makes a note of the agreed appointment in his own pocket diary. He then prepares a letter confirming the appointment, ensuring there are no misunderstandings between himself and David Donovan. Because Andy's dealership is on Lion Link, all he has to do is make a note of a few key phrases he needs inserted into a standard letter. As he knows that Mr. Donovan will be part-exchanging his old car, he asks him to bring his existing registration document and service booklet with him. He also asks him to bring his driving licence along so that it can be checked before Mr. Donovan takes a test drive. A little effort on paper at this stage will not only impress your customer, it will also save a great deal of time later. And perhaps, more importantly, a letter will increase your customer's commitment to a face-to-face meeting.
Hi, Alison.
Andy's form is then passed to Alison, whose job it is to send the letter and enter David Donovan's details into Lion Link.
Ask him to bring his,
The better the information she has at this stage, the more useful the system will be in the long run.
Now, great. We need to look at demonstrators. Can you tell me if Bill McDermott is in on the 18th?
As far as I know, but I'll check. So it's his car you'll want?
Yeah, but I hope it won't be his car for much longer.
I'll put it in the book.
Thanks.
Here's a quick observation test to see if you spotted the key impressions customers had about good paperwork. Just click on the yes or no box to register your response. Good paperwork saves time. Paperwork is tedious. Correct paperwork indicates efficiency. Good paperwork is unimportant. Paperwork is obtrusive. Paperwork saves them money. Let's see what you should have got. As you can see, customers react very favourably to good paperwork. It shows professionalism. Now, before we move on, make notes on the following.
How do you monitor showroom traffic? How are demonstrations controlled in your dealership? What paperwork do you use to take notes from an invited sales inquiry? What do you think are the advantages of confirming an appointment by letter?
When you're happy with your notes, click on the Continue button.
It's amazing, really, just how much paperwork is involved in responding efficiently to just one telephone sales inquiry. And we haven't even started selling the car yet. But of course, unless you're from the Norbert Entwistle school of thought, there's no point in any of this little lot unless it A, saves you time, B, makes you more efficient, and C, impresses customers. Well, does it? Does good paperwork do any of these three key things? See what you think as our story continues. Andy has already been alerted via line link and through his own pocket diary that today is the day. So when David Donovan arrives, Alison and Andy, not to mention the demonstration vehicle, are ready and waiting.
My name's Donovan. I'm here to see Andy Higgins.
I just paid him, sir.
Alison registers David's arrival in her visitor's book and lets Andy know that his customer has arrived. When things go as smoothly as this, a customer may only register the fact unconsciously, but that unconscious impression is the very thing that turns prospects into buyers. If a little bit of attention to paperwork can achieve that, it has to be worth the effort.
So when you're doing these presentations, do you have to carry much stuff around with you?
No, not usually. Most of my clients tend to have their own meeting rooms or
Right.
what have you.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually they have most of the gear. The most I'll ever have to carry is a slide projector and one of those portable video things.
During qualification, Andy continues to work his way through the relevant sections of the sales inquiry form. This has a number of advantages over a more casual approach. Firstly, it provides a permanent record of the needs of your customer. But secondly, and far more importantly, it shows the customer that you are listening actively. His needs come first. You're not about to sell him the first car the two of you bump into.
Oh, yes, I want the top-of-the-range car, if possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, paperwork can be a waste of time if you don't think about what it's for. If there is a form, a file, a data sheet or a report lurking in your business that really isn't helping anyone to do their job properly, then my advice is chuck it straight in the bin so that you can focus on paperwork that does matter. Paperwork like this sales inquiry and appraisal form. Appraisal is, of course, the natural extension of qualification. Just as the qualification section of the sales inquiry form works as a lasting record of your customer's needs, so filling in the appraisal section provides a lasting record of the condition of your customer's part exchange. The appraisal section helps structure an otherwise bitty process, ensuring that nothing is forgotten. It also adds to the customer's feeling that he is in the hands of a professional and encourages an atmosphere of trust. After all, if you're being thorough and professional in the appraisal of his car, that suggests thoroughness and professionalism in other ways.
That's very nice.
Yes, I've brought everything you might need. There's a whole bundle of stuff here. Hang on a tick.
You're a golfer then?
Oh, aye. Yes, though I haven't so much as touched a bloody club in weeks. Time. Not enough of it. What with work, the kids, the garden, more work. Ah, here it is. Do you play?
The appraisal presents the perfect opportunity to get to know more about your customer, whilst also getting the paperwork sorted out on the trade-in vehicle.
Here it is. August 86, I think you'll find.
August 86, yep, good.
And here's the service booklet.
Okay.
And as I say, it's taxed until November 92.
Yep, November 92. And how much longer is there on the MOT?
That's August 92. And you'll find it's been serviced regularly down at Swanson's, where I bought it.
Great. Okay, do you mind if we take it for a quick drive then?
Oh, not at all. Here. Here are the keys.
Thanks.
Click on the items you would require at hand when dealing with a customer sales inquiry. When you've selected all the items you want, click on the Continue button.
You're right. This form is the cornerstone of the sales process. You'd be surprised how irritated customers become when they're left on the phone while you rummage for a pen. Right, you'll need to have these handy for specification references. Yes, you're correct, of course. Yes, that's correct. If you don't have one, then there should be one held centrally. If there are useful reports on the Peugeot range, then by all means keep them to refer to. No, not really. This is only clutter.
Yes, you'd need all of these items with the exception of the yellow pages. Make a few notes on the following.
Do customers notice efficiency, or do they just expect it? How can good qualification help in selling, particularly in maintaining maximum profit margin? How do your customers react to a correctly managed appraisal? How long do you think appraisals should take?
Hello, only me. Look, I'll have to be brief because, not for the first time, I have to confess, I have been advised to be more interesting. Well, how's this for very interesting indeed? The appraisal form. I have one here. Now, the appraisal form is one of the most underutilised forms in the business. That's it. I think we better stop there. Cut.
Now, much as though I hate to agree with Norbert, here, catch. He's right. The appraisal form is underused, which is a shame because our research suggests when they are used, customers react well to them. They don't mind the time they take to fill in, far from it. They enjoy the attention you're giving them, indirectly, of course, by paying attention to their car. So meanwhile, back at the paper trail, we rejoin the action after the appraisal form has been completed and passed to the sales manager for valuation. Having presented David with a 605 in the showroom, Andy offers him a test drive. Here they are returning to the showroom where Andy starts the process of working out a deal that he can turn into a firm order.
Thanks. So, you liked it?
Very much. So much smoother to drive than the Granada. Handles a treat.
Yeah.
Andy now uses another key piece of paperwork, an illustration form. The great advantage of using a form like this is, again, structure. And this in itself enhances the professionalism of your image.
About a tow bar as well. Yeah.
It also ensures that, in the heat of the moment, you don't miss any opportunities for add-on sales.
I mean, they come in also. But supposing it is the demonstration model, the one you just drove,
yes,
you would want us to fit a tow bar?
Oh, yes, that'd be a must. We're off to France in 3 weeks, and I'd have a job towing a caravan without one.
Yeah.
But the great benefit of this particular Peugeot illustration form is that it doubles as an order form. This means that when you start to fill it out with the customer, he or she need only commit to the what-if of an illustration.
And the tow bar, that's taken into account. So, let's suppose it is the car you looked at today, and we agree £3,650 for your Granada.
Right, okay.
To move from this non-threatening let's pretend we've decided scenario into a genuine close is of course far easier than closing from scratch using a conventional order form.
3, 6,
Indeed, this is a classic example of the way in which paperwork and the way you use it can impact on your sales effectiveness.
Okay, there we go. Take a look at that.
Right. So that's the discounted price there.
Yeah, that's the top price.
Plus the tow bar.
Uh-huh.
Minus the part exchange
Yeah,
allowance.
yeah.
From
Take
that total,
yeah.
And this is the figure I'm asked to pay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
In a confirmation letter, which of the following would you request the prospector bring along to the test drive or appraisal? Select all your choices, then click on the Done button.
Three out of 4. Not bad.
Well, I'm sure you won't be surprised to learn that Andy did convert David into a firm purchaser with the help of a form like this. By ensuring the customer signs here and by getting the signature of his sales manager here, Andy ensured that the deal became contractually binding. One copy is retained by the customer and one copy is retained by the company. The valid until box here is used when the form is used as a quotation form rather than as an order. In this case, there's no need for Andy to fill it in. The order is by no means the end of the paperwork trail, though. Our next section looks at just some of the paperwork issues that crop up after the order is signed. Many customers will want to pay partly or entirely using finance.
It's Mr. David.
The documentation here just could end up in a court of law, so it's vital that the information you put on the proposal form is 100% correct. Ensure that you get the customer's full name, address, date of birth, whether they own or rent their home, how long they've lived there, where they work, and how long they've worked there. Ensure that you get the bank details correct, ideally by copying them directly from the customer's checkbook. For legal reasons, if your customer asks for a written finance quotation, you'll need to arrange for this to be sent direct by the finance company. As a car salesperson, you should not get involved in quoting for finance. The customer's departure after ordering is another key moment in the paperwork trail. Make sure that they take with them a copy of the illustration/order form,
Receipt.
a receipt for any deposit they may have made,
And this
product information on the car they've chosen,
Thanks.
you might want to know, yeah.
and ideally an information pack about the dealership, including information on such issues as service, repairs, courtesy cars, and extended warranty deals.
And if you have a look through that, it tells you
This
everything.
paperwork is the only lasting souvenir that the customer will have of their visit to your dealership. So it's worth a bit of effort to ensure that they're impressed.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
So the customer leaves with the right paperwork, impressed by your thoroughness and attention to detail. What's next in the paper trail? Well, if only to avoid sounding too much like Norbert Entwistle, I'll just hit a few headlines. Number 1. Write to the customer, thanking them for the business and confirming delivery dates. 2. Update your showroom log or Lion Link system with the fact that an order has been taken along with the agreed delivery date. 3. HPI the customer's part exchange. Naturally, if you already know that there's an outstanding HP agreement, then you'll have asked the customer's finance company to confirm the settlement figure which the dealership will pay off after delivery. Number 4. Your copy of the illustration/order form, this goes to your admin department so that an invoice and an internal work order can be raised. The way you deal with the internal work order will vary from dealership to dealership. In some, it's the responsibility of the sales executive to raise an internal work order. In other dealerships, this will not be the case. Whatever your situation, the instructions need to be precise, and you'll need to be clear about your system, and whatever that system is, to check that the customer's car is going to be ready for them 48 hours before the agreed delivery time. Which brings us pretty much up to the end of this... Oh, no.
I think you'll find, Jeremy, that the paperwork trail is by no means over.
Well, no, but not entirely, no. But...
Yes, but not entirely, Jeremy, is not entirely. And I think it's fair to say that in the increasingly competitive market of the 90s, thoroughness is the name of the game.
No, but...
Customers notice. They do.
No, but have you been on a training
course? Yes, Jeremy. On assertiveness and presentation skills. Hence the rather snappy visual aids concerning the paperwork on handover and delivery.
If I were to tell you, Norbert, that my idea of assertiveness involved the unrestrained use of physical violence, do you think you'd get my drift?
Yes, I think I would, Jeremy. Thank you for being so understanding.
Right the way off, and your litter. Right the way off, thank you. Of course, on this occasion, Norbert is absolutely right. Handover is a big event for the customer, and they expect everything to be right. Luckily, we haven't sent the actors home. So watch this space. Here's David arriving in his old car, ready to pick up his 605. From him, Andy needs the registration document, which of course he's already seen, his service booklets, which should also contain no surprises, his MOT, if applicable, and of course, his keys. Andy's checklist regarding paperwork for the 605 he sold to David includes the invoice, the finance documents, the registration document, the tax disc, service and repair receipts, and vehicle information, such things as the service booklet, audio system instructions, and extended warranty information.
Your keys. Thank you.
For all new car sales, Andy has a form like this to help him work through the handover process. Again, the benefits of this form are that it ensures that nothing is forgotten and adds to the customer's feeling that you are a professional. We began this programme talking about the link between good paperwork and effective selling. Now, our investigations have proved that such a link does exist, but more than that, we've uncovered some general benefits to be gained from a positive attitude to good paperwork. First, it communicates to the customer that you are a professional. Second, many of the standard Peugeot forms help you structure the sales process. And third, well, good paperwork works as a sort of permanent record, enabling you to have your vital sales information at your fingertips. And that wraps it up for... Oh, no, not again.
Fear not, Jeremy. I'm not about to question the thoroughly satisfactory nature of your summing up.
No, but nobody's interested.
Well, in that case, I'll be very succinct. I just wanted to addend a little observation of my own, namely that the paperwork trail never ends. Once you've sold a customer a car, sell them your genuine desire to keep in touch.
Norbert.
Diarise opportunities to write to them
if I can get a word in, please.
And again.
Norbert, if I can get a word in.
And again.
I think we've got your drift. Now, my drift is to thank you very much for watching. I do apologise for his endless interruptions and hope that it hasn't spoilt your enjoyment of Selling for Real too much. I also hope that the programme has been of a real benefit. Goodbye.
Well, I'm sure they must have got some benefit out of that, Jeremy. Entertainment value, if nothing else.
Well, they got some out of my bit.
Well, my bits were the most informative, Jeremy. It's the hard facts they need.
Were rubbish. Nobody's listening anyway.
Well, not many people listen when you're on Top Gear. Not surprising, really. What?
I've had enough of this.
Why are we stopping here?
Boring.
What? This is in the middle of nowhere.
Out.
What? I can't walk.
Out. Off.
By way of a recap, here are 6 questions. From what you've learned so far in this title, you should be able to answer all 6. However, in questions 1 and 2, your answers might not be the same word for word. Use your judgment and be honest. Question 1. Write down the advantages of using a sales inquiry form. When you're happy with your list, click on Continue.
Here are 4 answers we have. You should have responses close to these. A sales inquiry form is a permanent record of the customer's needs. Filling in the form is a visual confirmation that you are listening to the customer. Following on from the last answer, this displays professionalism. The form helps structure the sales inquiry procedure.
Question 2. What can be gained by using an illustration form? Write your answers down, then click on Continue to compare.
Here are 4 key benefits of using the illustration form. Illustration forms help structure the sale. They help make sure you don't miss add-ons, for example, extended warranties, roof racks, etc. Illustration forms also double as order forms, easing the transition from inquiry to successful sale. If used correctly, the form can keep you out of any valuation disagreements.
Question 3. When should you fill in the Valid Until box on an illustration form? Click on your choice until you've found the correct answer.
No. Try again. No. Try again. Yes, that's right.
Question 4. When taking details for a customer seeking finance, what details should you request? Write down your list and see if you have the same points as us by clicking on the Continue button.
Full name, address, date of birth, sex, number of dependents, occupation, employer, home ownership, income, existing finance, bank details.
Question 5. Who by law must give any written finance quotation?
Your managing director, the finance company, a solicitor, you, the company bank manager.
Well done. Legally, only the finance company needs to provide a written quotation. And finally, question 6. What do you require from the customer when receiving their part exchange? Assume the car is 3 years old. Select all your choices, then click on the Done button.
Registration documents, driving license, service booklet, finance documents, MOT certificate, keys.
Only 2 out of 4. You've got a problem. In conclusion, here is a summary of actions you can take to improve your paperwork.
Get rid of paperwork which merely duplicates effort. Ensure adequate stocks of correct paperwork. Monitor the use of the showroom log or visitor's book. Consider the Lion Link interaction system. Have standard letters to cover each eventuality. Confirm appointment, confirm delivery, thanking for business, follow-up letters.
And finally, here is a list of 15 key issues to remember.
Ensure contracts are binding. Arrange for finance quotations. Remember, handover is a big event. Make sure finance proposals are correct. Provide receipts for payments. Provide relevant product information. Provide a dealership information pack. Send a letter confirming delivery. Update Lion Link showroom log. HPI part exchange. Process the order correctly. Initiate relevant internal work orders. Complete a handover checklist. Remember, insurance, finance documents and tax must be correct. Service details.